Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Bachman Field in Glen Burnie, Maryland for the MPSSAA state semifinals. My name is Michael Betteridge. I'll be doing your play-by-play, joined at the baseball diamond here with Ben Spector. Ben, good to have you here.
You know what? It is good to be here. I'm really looking forward to this game. We got two really good teams, and it's a state semis, and anything can happen. So.
Anything can happen, and today we'll be bringing you our first game of a two-game doubleheader, the Middletown Knights versus the Patuxent, and I forgot the mascot of that team.
The Panthers, I believe.
I've got it right here. The Panthers.
Yes.
The Patuxent Panthers. Middletown Knights coming in today, 19-1 overall, coached by Charles Toms, ranked 6th in the state of Maryland on a 9-game win streak. Patuxent coming in here from Patuxent from Southern Maryland, and they're coached by Jennifer Bruno, 12-9, ranked 57th in the state of Maryland. They are the number 1 seed in the Section 1 2A South, and they advanced to this semifinal based on a 7-2 win against their 2A South opponent, Southern, last Friday. So that's it. This is going to be a great softball game. When you get to this level, Ben, everybody's good.
Yeah, you know, on paper, Middletown looks like the better team, but they don't play the games on paper. Middletown will going to have to go out there and win this one. They have a talent to do it, but at the end of the day, it's can they get it done?
Well, it's true, and this is what we call one and done. Both these teams don't have a record coming into this game. They're both 0-0, essentially, because the winner is going to go to College Park on either Friday or Saturday, and the loser's season is over.
Yeah, and the truth is you have to play each game like you are coming in with a 0-0 record, because if you don't and you focus too much on records in the past or how you've done against a team in the past or how that team's done in the past, it can kill you.
Well, Middletown's going to be taking the up at the plate first. Patuxent will be in the field. Middletown, the visiting team. Patuxent has home team ranking here. And our leadoff is going to be Pratt, McLean, and Maine, the same one we always. We'll have a step aside for our short break here, and we'll be right back after this commercial message. All right, welcome back live. Both teams are meeting with their captains at home plate right now to exchange lineup cards, with the umpires standing over officiating. Of course, this game sanctioned by the MPSSAA, that's the Maryland Public Secondary Athletic Association. And we want to thank Jill Masterman and the great crew year after year. They do a wonderful job of putting these tournaments together. As I mentioned a moment ago, we have no idea what the lineup is for Friday and Saturday, but we have 4 teams in the state of Maryland, Ben, 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. And those 4 teams will play either Friday or Saturday, depending on the mix. Yeah,
you know, it's kind of in playoff season in general, just keeping an idea and being ready for the unexpected with the schedule, with the weather, locations, all that sort of thing. It's just keeping yourself prepared for the unexpected.
Absolutely. Ben, I understand that you graduated from Middletown in 2014?
I did. Class 2014.
And you're the voice of the Knights baseball there at the stadium, the home stadium, aren't you?
Yeah, my main job when I'm not going out and watching all the other Middletown athletics teams play is I am a voice of Middletown baseball, and I help them out with equipment on the side, too.
Do you?
So.
Okay, excellent. How'd you get started in doing that?
It's funny. Actually, my sophomore year, I tried out for the team, and I got cut. You know, I was kind of a mediocre player.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to be a part of a team. So after I got cut, I asked the JV coach. I said, hey, can I help manage?
What can I do to help?
Yeah. And so from there, it all started out, and as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah, there you go. Well, welcome to your radio debut. We can always use help especially with young guys like you who might be excited about learning about how to do radio. So,
no, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this game and just being a part of this in general.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll take our next break as they exchange lineup cards, and we'll be right back after this message.
Would you trust your electrician to fix your plumbing or your bricklayer to replace a window? Then why would you expect a department or box store to help you make decisions about your carpeting or flooring? Peterson Carpet and Flooring's experienced team takes pride in their ability to listen and understand your needs. We can integrate those needs into the latest flooring technology to give you a unique and innovative solution that's exactly right for you. Conveniently located right on the Golden Mile. Come on in today.
Peterson's Carpet and Flooring will find a way need to help.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live at Bachman Field. The Patuxent Panthers have taken the field. They're wearing their white jerseys with black pants and the black sleeves, black lettering, and the Panthers are at the mound. Their pitcher is ready to go. Pitcher is an interesting story, Ben. She is a freshman. For this team, Hannah Ludke, I hope I'm pronouncing the freshman for this team. She hit a triple in the game, the last game that they played, and gave up only 2 runs.
You know, from a freshman standpoint, it's interesting because the state playoffs holds this kind of increased intensity to it, and the question is, how will she react as a freshman, this being her first time in the state playoffs? How will she react to the tension of a state playoff game?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's got to be nerves, especially when you're in 9th grade. Think about it. Think back about when you were in 9th grade. Imagine showing up at a state semifinal leading your team.
Yeah. You know, the intensity of it, as a 9th grader, I wasn't even concerned about pitching in the state semifinal game. I was more wondering about what I was getting for dinner after school. So.
I remember arriving at high school and looking at all those big seniors and thinking, oh, no. Well, she's not just thinking, oh, no. She's actually out on the field leading them today.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. She's got a great arm. There's the throw down to second, and we are just about ready for our opening batter here. Leading off, Kayla Pratt for the Middletown Knights. Kayla had a great outing against Liberty last Friday. She led off with a triple, and then her next at bat was a home run. So here we go. Fastball right down the middle for a called strike. Good velocity on that pitcher, Ben.
Yeah, she's come in here throwing hard, and that's what she's going to have to do. Throw hard, command the strike zone, kind of assert her dominance on the mound.
Not very big, a little girl, kind of like Sammy Main's size. Nice base hit right over the shortstop and into left field. A 3-hopper to the left field. She picks it up, relays back to second. So right off the bat, Kayla gets a 1-bagger to start out.
You know, and that's what you need for Middletown. Set the pace early, kind of show Patuxent and the freshman pitcher, give her trouble, force her into mistakes.
Annie McLean steps into the batter's box, batting right-handed. Annie leading the team in batting with a .537 average on the season. Here comes Ludke to the mound. Wind up and delivery. Bunt. Beautiful bunt down the right baseline. Oh, and the umpire said it hit the plate, so it is a foul ball. That was a beauty.
I would say, if that stays fair, that's definitely a base hit. Just jammed a little bit, and McLean couldn't get it out there.
All right, here we go. 0-1 the count to McLean. No outs, 1 runner on. Here we go. She bunts again, and this one rolls foul for strike 2.
So now this is a situation where 2-strike hitting early in the game, they have the beginnings of a rally going. But if you want to extend the rally, you know, it's going to be tough. McLean has to have a 2-strike approach of there and try to continue this for Middletown.
Well, she'll be swinging away now, down 0-2 in the count. She's got to guard that plate, so Ludke looks in for the sign, nods, and she delivers. Chop foul back over the screen and out of play. The count stays at 0-2 for McLean. If you just joined us, we're at the top of the first. 1 runner on, no outs, no score. Annie McLean batting. Good crowd here. Deep, well hit, base hit, bounces to Hopper. Stand up into second, and a single for McLean to lead off and move the runner. So we've got runners on first and second now.
That's 2 at-bats there where Middletown's gotten the barrel of a ball, put the ball in play, and hit good base hits to the outfield. So right now, their approaches look really good at the plate.
Both hits, loopers over the infield, drop right in front of the outfield. And now we've got a conference at the pitcher's mound on the infield. The outfield is playing, I would say, shallow somewhat. Playing in shallow. Infield was playing straight away and medium.
And you know what? And the fact that the outfield's playing shallow, if Middletown keeps hitting the ball like they are, it will help them out because the balls Middletown hitting aren't crushed over their heads. They're nice and short ones to the edge of the outfield.
Bit of a breeze blowing out here, too. I'm sure that's going to affect some of the throws and some of the hits. So let's see what happens. Lutke nods as she acknowledges the sign from her catcher, winds up and delivers a beautiful bunt down the third baseline. Pick it up, throw to first, and she got her.
You know what, for Middletown, you'll take that. Sammy Main executes a perfect bunt. She was almost safe by a step, but now you got third and second with one out. You're clean up here at the plate. Perfect opportunity to put up runs.
Beautiful sacrifice bunt by Sammy Main brings Emma Watt to the plate, batting right-handed. The left fielder, Emma Watt.
Actually, I think that's the third baseman, Megan Brown.
My fault. It is Megan Brown. Thank you. Fastball high and inside. She backs away. Megan Brown hit the game-winning signal against Liberty last Friday. She just dragged that ball right down the first base line and into right field to score McLean on third. High fastball, ball 2. 2-0 to Brown.
And if you're Brown right now, you'd like to get a hit, but a walk's as good as a hit because bases loaded with one out just puts the pressure on the freshman pitcher, Lutke, forces her to come to your hitter after that.
Well hit, deep into center field. It drops in the gap for a base hit. 1 run scores, rounding third. The runner holds at third. So a stand-up single for Megan Brown.
Right now, Middletown's just doing the simple things at the plate to start out the game, putting the ball in play, getting hits, and they're just hitting it where they ain't, as the old saying goes.
That'll bring Emma Watt to the plate now. Emma with that wide-open stance, batting right-handed, crouches and she's ready. Fastball inside. Called strike. 0-1 to Brown. 1 out, top of the first. 1-0 Middletown. Runners on the corners. Lutke taking her time. Delivers. Fastball high. There's the steal down to second. They throw to third instead. The runner gets back in time at third. And so Megan Brown, who was on first, now advances to second on the steal. Takes advantage of that throw to third.
And that's big for Middletown because, again, now you have third and second with 1 out and an even better chance to put across runs.
Lutke taking her time, rolls that ball on her thigh. That optic yellow official softball, and now timeout. The umpire's going to come out. He's calling time. And he's signaling something down to the third base coach. He says 1-1.
I believe he was asking for the count from his 2 field umpires.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you just lose your count up there. And
1-1 is the count signaled by the plate umpire. Watt settles in. Lutke looks in, delivers. High. Changeup right over the chin of Emma Watt. Ball 2. 2-1 to Watt. Runners on second and third. 1 out. Middletown up by 1 run in the top of the first. Fastball low, just below the knees. Ball 3. So Watt way ahead in the count.
And this is the hitter's count Watt's looking for. With runners in scoring position, you'll probably see a fastball here, 3-1. It's a great chance to deliver for Middletown.
Lutke toes the rubber. Juggles that ball, and there it comes. Strike, called strike, just on the inside edge of the strike zone. Moves the count to full at 3-2.
You know, a little drop ball there from Lutke. Just put it right in the strike zone, nice as you could be.
Here we go. She throws the changeup ball and loads the bases. So Watt gets on patiently on the base and balls. And we've got runners on every base.
And now, as we mentioned before, with a freshman pitcher, you know, This is her chance. This is the chance for the seniors on the team to come in and talk to her and settle down. Her catcher McClanahan's out there talking to her and just try to get her into a spot where she feels comfortable. Because right now she hasn't found the zone yet, so she's still working to establish it.
Batting left-handed, Shannon Harmon, the first baseman for the Lady Knights, steps into the batter's box with one out in the top of the first. Bases loaded. Fastball low and away, ball one. Boy, this is the stuff you dream about, Ben. Bases loaded, high school semifinal tournament. You want to smack one into the fence on this.
Yeah, and Harmon has the power to do it. She can rip a ball to the outfield, so.
Called strike on the outside corner. Nice pitch by Ludke.
And in fact, going into my last point, the outfield's playing pretty shallow here.
Very shallow.
So it may be one of those things where it's a no-doubles defense trying to stop the bleeding early in the game if the ball goes to the outfield.
Screwball outside, ball two. 2-1 to Harmon. Swing and a miss. She took a little off that one.
You know, and early in the game, Harmon's trying to be aggressive. There's nothing wrong with that swing. She sees the pitch she likes, so she goes for it, you know.
2-2 to Harmon. One out, bases loaded. Wind up delivery. Shot base hit right up the gap, out into center field. 1 run scores. Another run in, 2 run scores. So a 2 RBI single by Shannon Harmon.
And one of the negatives of the infield playing in for Patuxent and them trying to stop the bleeding early in the first inning, there's not much reaction time if you're an infielder. And Harmon, just hit hard enough to poke it through the infield. 2 RBI single.
That brings Sydney Lamb to the plate. The designated player, Lamb calls timeout and steps out of the box.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Sydney Lamb, ready to bat. Well hit, rifles it down the third base line and out of play. Man, that was a rocket.
You know, Lamb turned on that one, and she almost got the manager, Charlie Toms, down there. He had
he had to do a little dance.
Yeah, had to boogie out of the way.
Happy feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a line drive shot right at the third base coach.
I say that's one thing. You don't want to let Lamb be able to turn on the baseball because she will hurt it.
Change up. She goes after that one. Is well hit. Out of play over the fence. 0-2 now to Lamb. Behind in the account. But she has bases loaded and only 1 out here. 3-0. Middletown on top in the top of the first.
And we're going to have a timeout here, and even though Lamb has fouled those 2 pitches off, I don't think the Patuxent coaching staff is happy with the location of those pitches because Lamb is one of those power hitters who, if she gets something on the inside, she can turn on it. So in that spot, that's really dangerous to pitch to her.
Well, if she guesses on an off-speed pitch again, she's putting that one over the fence because both of those balls were ripped down the third base line for distance.
I say she's gotten a hold of 2 pitches on the inside, and even with these deep fences here at Bachman Sports Complex, Lamb has the power to put one pretty deep here. So
yeah, that's a great point, Ben. What do you figure? 300 feet?
I'd say
350.
Down in the left field corner, it has a 300 feet sign on the wall.
Does it?
Yeah, 300 feet for high school baseball even is pretty deep. So.
Amen to that. So really, anything in the gap in this game is a home run.
Yeah, definitely. And especially with Patuxent infielders or the outfielders playing shallow, a ball in the gap could be trouble.
Here we go. Luke's ready. He's got to pitch her way out of this one. She throws an off speed. It takes a one hopper. The catcher loses it. The runner advances to second. So now runners on second and third. Ludke threw the off-speed pitch, and it didn't have enough velocity to reach home plate. It took a bad hop off the front of the plate. Here we go. Lamb's in. 1-2. She calls timeout, steps out of the box. Sydney's I think she's being a little bit affected by the length of time that Ludke is taking to deliver.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that Ludke works their own pace.
Swing and a miss, and she struck her out on a high changeup. Just the pitch Sydney was looking for. Sydney went under it with the swing, looking for the fastball. So there's 2 outs now in the top of the top of the first. Middletown leading 3-0. That'll bring Hockenberry to the plate. Hockenberry chops it back to the pitcher. One hops it in the mitt, throw to first, and she dropped it. So the run scores. So Hockenberry gets on an error by the first baseman, which scores Emma Watt and moves Harmon down to third. So we've got a 4-0 score here in the bottom of the first, and another conference at the mound.
And if you're Patuxent, those are the type of mistakes that are going to kill you, because Middletown is a team who will take advantage of your mistakes. Simple ground ball out and just a mental mistake there. So Patuxent's got to try to tighten it up.
Taylor Green, the second baseman, at bat now. Middletown about to bat around the order. Shows bunt, pulls it back, throw to third. Not in time. The runner gets back. Runners on second and third now. On the throw to third, Hockenberry stole second. 2 outs. Top of the first. Middletown leading 4-0. Fastball low. She chopped it foul into the other field.
And for Middletown now, they've gotten 3 runs this inning. That's already great to start off a game, but now you have a chance to add more and maybe put Patuxent out of it really early.
Chop to the second baseman. She gloves it, throw the first in time. She holds on, and that's it. So at the end of 1/2 inning, 6 hits, 1 error, and 4 runs. And the Middletown Lady Knights leading 4-0 against the Patuxent Panthers, who will come to bat after this commercial break. All right, welcome back. We're here live at Bachman Field in Glen Burnie, Maryland, for the Maryland MPSSAA 2A semifinal between the Middletown Knights and the Patuxent Panthers. And we want to thank today's game sponsors: Anytime Fitness, Bollinger's Restaurant, Furnace Bar and Grill, Littlemore Real Estate, Living Word Academy, Mountain Gate Restaurant, and Roddy Creek Automotive. Thanks for sponsoring today's playoff softball game, and a good one it is. All right, so the leadoff batter now for the Panthers is in the batter's box, stepping into the box now. Kelsey Sears, batting left-handed, leading off for the Panthers. Fastball low and away by Sammy Main.
And for Patuxent, after a first inning in which they got hit around a little bit in the bottom, at the plate, keep your approaches. Don't try to do too much. I know with a 4-run lead in the playoffs, it seems overwhelming at times, but just simplify at the plate.
Fastball outside, called strike, 1-1. Maine had 7 strikeouts against Liberty. Pitched very, very well in her last 2 playoff games at Catoctin and then at Liberty. So Sammy on top of her game. Is Sammy a senior?
Yes, she is a senior.
So this is her final year. I'm sure there's a lot of kids in Frederick County in softball that would be glad to see her graduate.
I would say she's given the county some headaches over the past 4 years, and that's putting it lightly, I think.
I've heard the Catoctin girls talk about her. All right, here we go. Fastball bunt. Rolls foul just by a half an inch. And that was a patient play by the catcher for the Lady Knights.
Kayla Pratt.
Yeah, she very patiently waited for that ball. It had a little spin on it.
I would say the way Sears bunted, it almost had like top spin on it.
Did, yeah.
So it landed in the box, and it could have easily gone in fair or foul, but Pratt just waited till it came in foul and picked it up.
So Maine is ready now. Tip foul back to the screen. Sears stays alive in the count. Sears, the center fielder for the Lady Panthers.
And if you want to talk about a young team for Patuxent, the pitcher Ludke, freshman, Sears, a sophomore, they have a lot of young talent.
Fastball outside. And it's a ball. 3-2, full count now to Sears. So Sears goes the distance in her first at bat. Maine is looking in, turns, winds, and delivers. Shot back to the screen, foul ball. The count stays at 3-2.
And you know what? Sears is doing exactly what you need to do with Maine on the mound. Just work the count. See as many pitches as you can from Maine, because Maine has an arsenal of pitches that she can throw for strikes that most pitchers in the state don't have.
Middletown leading 4-0 here in the bottom of the first. No outs. Leadoff batter for the Panthers at the plate. This one high up over the screen and into the concession stand and out of play.
And going back to the young talent on this team, Patuxent, 12 kids on their team. 8 of them are your sophomores or freshmen. 4 seniors. So you got to think in the future, this Patuxent team will be one to be.
Yeah, you'll probably see them for the next couple of years. Fastball tipped back to the screen again. Boy, Sears is staying alive. That her 8th pitch taken from Sammy Maine. Here we go. Great crowd here. Both sides of the field. A one-hopper away from the plate. She took something off of it, and that's a ball. So the leadoff batter gets on with a base on balls. And that'll bring pitcher Hannah Ludke to the plate. Hannah had a great game last Friday. She hit a triple in that game to lead off and get the rally going. Batting right-handed, takes a fastball inside for ball 1. No outs, runner on first.
And for Patuxent right now, they're doing exactly what they need to do after a rough top of the first inning. They're seeing pitches. They're being non-aggressive at the plate.
Infield pop-up. First base settles under it in foul territory and makes the catch. So that's the first out in the inning on a pop-up to the first baseman. And that'll bring Kayla Alderman to the plate. Swing and a miss to Alderman. Batting right-handed. Alderman the shortstop for the Lady Panthers.
Middletown's defense right now, they're playing a bunt defense, just trying to take that away, trying to take away the slash.
Swing and a miss. He got a little tip on that ball, so it's 0-2 to Alderman.
I'd say Alderman hasn't gotten fooled much this at bat. She's seen 2 pitches, but she's been on top of both of them.
All right, Maine is ready. Delivers. Well hit. Hits third base and bounces up in the air. So it was a line drive shot that hit the front of the base in fair territory for a stand-up single.
I think before that, Megan Brown down third base for Middletown got a piece of that. It deflected off the bottom of her glove into the bag and just there. I was saying, as they say, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and that was lucky right there.
So 1 out, runners on first and second there here in the bottom of the first. Fastball inside. Maine wipes off her chin. Must be warm. Middletown wearing those black uniforms with the orange lettering. They got to be hot out there because they're wearing the full uniform, sleeves, and long pants. Oh, man.
I was saying, I was noticing before the game, Maine decided to go with long sleeves, and the black and the hot weather to begin with is tough enough to begin with, but with sleeves on?
Yeah, I agree. Fastball inside, swing and a miss. To Haley McClanahan. McClanahan, the catcher for the Lady Knights. Foul tipped.
And speaking of Maine, you know, early on, one of her big goals is going to be to change the eye levels of the hitters. Their first couple pitches to Haley McClanahan, they were low in the zone. Now she comes up, barely gets a foul tip on McClanahan, so she's going to have to change the perspective and where the Patuxent hitters are looking at.
Whoa, well hit, deep into center field. She makes the catch over her head. What a great catch by the center fielder. She had to get on her horse and react quickly, run backwards, turn and look over her shoulder and make the catch on the run.
And that's a good play by the center fielder, Hockenberry. Middletown's in a little bit in the outfield, and McClanahan got a hold of that one and put a good lick on it. But Hockenberry going back, made a good catch, and possibly saves a run.
I think more than possibly saves a run. Hit line drive back to the pitcher. She catches it, and the inning is over. So Middletown, with great defense, gets out of the inning. Only one hit, no runs, and no errors. Will move to the top of the second inning, and Middletown will be coming to plate. Leading off for Middletown, back to the top of the order, Kayla Pratt. We'll be right back after this commercial message.
It's the perfect time to stop in and visit the friendly team at Thermont's Napa Auto Parts. Warm weather is here to stay, and that means lots of driving with increased wear and tear on your vehicle. Thermont Napa is the place to get everything you need to prepare your car as Mother Nature turns up the heat. Your local source for everything to keep your vehicle on the road. Don't forget, they also have select lawn, garden, and marine supplies. Thermont Napa. They'll keep you running.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here coming to you live from Bachman Field in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Beautiful complex, the Bachman Sports Complex, where they hold the semis every year. I believe this is probably our fourth consecutive year over here.
I was saying, for the first time down here, this is a very impressive complex. We're at field free, but at our field you can look out to center field, and behind the fence there's another game going on, and behind us there's another game. 4
games going on simultaneously at 4 o'clock here from all over the state of Maryland.
And then there's 4 more at 7, so it's an action-packed day here at Bachman Sports Complex.
So Kayla Pratt steps to the plate. Takes a change up high and inside from Lutke. Kayla with a single in her first at bat to lead off.
And don't be fooled by Pratt at the top of the lineup. She has the power for Middletown.
Lutke winds and delivers fastball inside and low. Ball 1.
Last Friday against Liberty, a triple and a home run, so she's a very potent hitter, and in softball there's kind of this expectation that the leadoff hitter is going to slap the ball around, but Kayla Pratt's not that slap hitter.
Nice, well hit, deep into center field. It's a high one, and it drops into the gap and rolls past the center fielder, stand-up double, and she holds it second. So Pratt's 2 for 2 here today, Ben.
And you know what? The outfield for Patuxent was shifted heavily, playing Pratt to pull the center fielder for Patuxent. Sears is almost in the left center field gap, and Pratt just hit him where they hit the ball where the Patuxent players weren't and put it right to dead away center field.
Top of the second inning, Middletown leading 4-0. McLean at bat. Well hit, deep into left field, down the line. Let's see what the call is. I believe it's out of play, just foul. Man, she got all of that one.
I say, and as we said earlier, the fence is here deep, but that was no issue for McLean. She powered that ball up, and if that ball was a couple feet more to right, that might have been inside the park home run for her.
All right, McLean 0-1 in the count. Change up inside.
And on the mound for Patuxent, it appears Lutke's just a bit frustrated. It doesn't appear she has the command of her breaking pitches like she wants to. 1-1
to McLean. No outs, runner on second. Off speed, beautiful changeup by Ludke right over the plate. Caught McLean looking. Okay, McLean steps into the box. Middletown up 4-0 here on a 4-run rally in the first inning. Another changeup, one hops to the catcher. Ball 2. 2-1 to McLean. Pulled foul right at the dugout for Middletown. Out of play. Count moves to 2-2 to McLean. No outs. Runner on second. Top of the second inning. Off speed. Line drive to the third baseman. She makes the catch. And the runner gets back in time to second. You know, Ben, they weren't covering second. They didn't get the double play.
That was a patented double play ball. Good play by Long down third base. Just seeing the ball come to her, picking up the spear. And if the second baseman was there, that's it. That could be an inning ender for Middletown.
Sammy Main with that open stance in the backs. Chops one up the middle for a base hit. The run rounds third. The runner coming home now. 1 run scores. The cutoff at the plate. And Maine standing up at first base with her first base hit of the game. Scores Kayla Pratt on a single RBI.
That's just a good job of hitting by Maine. Hits it right back up the middle, takes it from where it came, and it's 5-0 Middletown.
Megan Brown at the plate. One out. Top of the second, 5-0 Middletown. Runner on first. Ludke taking her time. Fastball inside, ball 1.
And Ludke, you know, she's gone deep in counts, but she's no stranger to pitching this much. During the regular season, she threw 122 2/3 innings, so she's not unaccustomed to pitching large amounts.
Fastball low and inside, ball 2. So Ludke working around that zone. Fastball high, ball 3 to Brown. So Coach Tom's probably going to give her the signal to take this one.
You know, and that's just a good play. You're up 5-0. There's no need to press for hits here, so just 3-0, take what's given to you.
Called strike right over the middle. 3-1 to Brown. 1 out. Top of the second, runner on first. Middletown leading 5-0. Swing and a miss. Full count to Brown now. That was a great changeup by Ludke.
Yeah, Brown seemed fooled by it, and, you know, Ludke went from 3-0 to now she's gotten herself back in the count and in the spot to get Brown out.
Here we go. Everybody goes on this one. High screwball. And it's a ball 4. So Brown gets on with the base on balls. Moves Maine down to second base. And that brings Emma Watt to the plate. Watt walked in her first at bat, takes a fastball inside at the knees for ball 1.
And for Middletown, this is the heart of your order up at the plate. You've already got 1 run out of this inning. You're up by 5. You know, 2 or 3 more runs put you in a really good spot right now. So the 5-hitter, 6-hitter really could use a good at-bat.
Fastball outside, almost gets away from McClanahan, but she makes a great play on the ball to keep it in play and hold those runners in check on first and second.
And for Patuxent, McClanahan's been great today, blocking balls, reaching for balls. She's been covering everything back there.
Fastball low and inside. 3-0 to Watt. So Charlie Toms gives her the take it sign. Watt holds it up her hand. I think she said no. Let's see what happens. A one-hopper loads the bases. The runners advance. And now we've got, once again, we've got a Shannon Harmon dream. Shannon smacked one with authority in her last at-bat for a single. She's got bases loaded now.
I would say, and for Harmon going up to the plate, you can be open in your approach because you've already seen what Lutke has. She's already had to come to you once.
Foul back over the screen. 0-1 to Harmon. One out. Top of the second, bases loaded. Middletown up 5-0.
And for Harmon here, you're just looking for anything to put in play, even if it's a ground ball out, scores a run, extends the lead.
One hopper to the catcher. McClanahan again blocks the plate and keeps it in play.
That's another good pick by McClanahan there as she go out to talk to the pitcher, Lutke. But McClanahan's been great for Patuxent today. There have been a couple times where Lutke, she's struggling with her control a little bit. Mm-hmm. She's bounced pitches, and McClanahan's been there to save him for Patuxent. So if it wasn't for McClanahan, this could be a 6-0, 7-0 game.
You're right. That's a great observation. She's got a good slide on her knees to left and right. She's got good lateral movement from her knees as a catcher.
And in softball, with a frequency with pitchers like Lutke, who threw 122 2/3 innings this year pitched, Lutke and McClanahan have probably developed a pretty good relationship, like Maine and Pratt for Middletown.
Here we go. Lutke's ready. She winds and delivers. Swing and a miss.
Put it in play.
1-2 to Harmon now. Bases loaded, one out. Top of the second. A one-hopper gets by the catcher. Here comes the home, slides in, safe. So the ball hit Sammy Main in the thigh, and the pitcher Lutke could not make the play, so the run scores on a pass ball.
And I'd say I'll have to apologize for that one because I believe I jinxed her there.
You did.
I was singing the praises of McClanahan earlier, and now it's a situation where a ball trickles past her. But for Middletown, up 6-0 now, a base hit can really do it for you here because a single could put them up 8-0.
So runners now on second and third, one out. Chop back to the pitcher, a one-hopper. She gloves it, throws it first. Here comes the play at the plate. Safe plate. So Brown slides in under the tag to bring in the 8th run of the game. And now we've got 2 outs. Runners on third. And that brings Sydney Lamb. And Sydney Lamb struck out in her last at bat. But man, she was smacking that ball hard. Let's see what she does here. Chops it down to third base. Glove, throw to first in time. And that's it. So at the end of 2.5, 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors. Middletown leads at 8-0. We'll step aside for a break and be right back for Patuxent's at-bat in the bottom of the second inning. All right, welcome back live to Bachman Field. Our leadoff batter for the Lady Panthers, Mary Lee, takes a fastball right across the tops of her shoes for a ball 1 from pitcher Sammy Main. I want to make a correction to the score, 7-0. I counted wrong. Fastball called strike, 1-1 to Lee.
For Maine, for Middletown, she started off, she was struggling a little bit in the early beginning, but now it looks like she's gotten it. She's hitting her spots. She's attacking the zone.
Swing and a miss. High fastball right across the chin. Lee goes up there after it. 1-2, the count to Lee.
Lee, one of 4 seniors on the team for Patuxent, had a really good regular season. She hit .367, 12 RBIs. Fastball
called strike 3. Caught her looking, And the infield comes in, high fives all the way around to Sammy Main for her first K of the game. That'll bring up Katie Briggs, the second baseman for the Lady Panthers, batting right-handed. Katie takes a cut at it, swing and a miss. Strike one to Briggs. Katie, the seventh batter in the rotation for the Panthers. Fastball inside. Called strike two. 0-2 to Briggs.
And with Patuxent down right now, 7-0, the best thing the bottom of the order can do for them, get on base, turn it over to the top, and let the top hit him in.
Absolutely. Maine working the count. Low and inside, ball one. Bottom of the second inning, Middletown leading 7-0. 4 runs in the first inning and 3 in the second. All production off the top of that Middletown order. Fastball, chop foul. Briggs at 1-2 in the count now. 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. Here at Field 3 in Bachman Sports Complex.
And behind us here at Bachman is the other 2A semifinal. It's Easton and Lansdowne.
Ground ball to shortstop. She bobbles it. Throw to second. Throw to first. No way. She couldn't hang on to it. So we're going to call that a base hit single by Briggs. That'll bring Crystal Jones, the left fielder, to the plate. Batting right. Jones chops it back to the fence. 0-1 the count.
It's interesting because some teams in the MPSSAA tournaments, like Northern Calvert, who's won 7 state tournaments, have a history. But really, Middletown and Patuxent don't have a history of large-scale success at this stage.
Playing each other.
Yeah.
Right. I noticed that. Maine is ready. She runs and delivers. Fastball. Called strike right at the knees. Nice pitch by Sammy. And she nicked that strike zone.
You know, for Middletown, this is quite new. The last time they made it to state semis was 2005. So for all of the team and for a lot of alumni, this has been a long time coming.
Fastball, chopped foul.
The catcher, Pratt, wore that one. Jones for Patuxent just got a piece of it, and Pratt took that one right in the mask.
So we've got a timeout on the field as they bring her over to the trainer and take a look at her, make sure she's okay. Kayla Pratt, a tough cookie. I've seen her take a couple here. She smiles, looks at the crowd, smiles.
I'd say she's out here having a good time. I don't think she even cares that here. All the adrenaline's flowing through. She
didn't feel a thing.
Yeah, didn't feel a thing at all.
All right, here we go. Plays back in. Crystal Jones at bat. Swing and a miss. And she struck her out. So that's the second strikeout of the game for Sammy Main. That'll bring Megan Lee up to the plate. Megan shows bunt, trickles it down, and it rolls foul. Oh, what a play by Megan Brown. She wanted to glove it and throw to first, but she let it roll foul. A very patient and wise defensive play.
I'll tell you what, that's the first time I think I've seen a third baseman give a ball a stare down. As soon as it was hit, she locked eyes on the ball and was just probably blowing it, foul a little bit.
Megan
trying to see if a wind here could help push it foul.
Lee 0-1 in the count. Shows bunt again, pulls the bat back. Infield charges in. Maine smiles.
I think Maine wanted that call of a home plate. That pitch was close to letter high, and Maine looked like she wanted it. She was smiling like she thought she had it. So,
runner on first, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. Middletown leading 7-0. She shows bunt, beautiful bunt, pick up, no throw. Oh, they said it hit the plate, so it is a foul ball. Umpire said, I don't know. That looked like a good bunt to me.
I'd say the ball after she bunted, I think from my angle, came up and hit her on the arm after she bunted.
Okay.
So foul ball in the box. But the hitter for Patuxent's lucky because if she steps out of the box and it hits her, she's out, and that's the inning for Patuxent. So.
All right, Lee is ready. Fastball called strike 3. So 3 strikeouts in the inning. Sammy Maine gets it going here with a laser fastball right across the waistline. And at the end of 2 complete innings, no runs on 1 hit and no errors, Middletown comes to the plate at the top of the third leading 7-0. We'll be right back for the 2A MPSSAA state semifinal between the 2A West team and the 2A South team, Patuxent and Middletown. Middletown leadoff batter, Sam Hockenberry. Sammy takes a called strike across the inside edge of the plate from Lutke. Sammy got on with an error, a catching error by the first baseman in her first at bat. Lutke winds high, off-speed pitch, ball 1. 1-1 to Hockenberry here in the top of the third. Middletown leading 7-0 in the third inning. Fastball at the knees called strike. Hockenberry turns around and looks a little disappointed she didn't go after that one.
I would say she's had 2 borderline strike calls on her, so now she's in the position of where's the strike zone, and especially with 2 strikes, you're trying to identify that strike zone.
Off-speed fastball, 1 hops to the catcher, ball 1. 1-2 to Hock.
For Patuxent, with Lutke having struggled on the mound in the first 2 innings a little bit, this is a chance for Lutke to turn around. If she can turn around, she can set the pace for her team.
Chopped down the third baseline and foul. A trickler. Third baseman throws it back to the pitcher. Hockenberry stays alive in the count. 1-2. Leadoff batter in the top of the third. High fastball. Helmet high. 2-2 the count.
Hockenberry's battled back in this count after 2 borderline strike calls. Now it's 2-2, and now she can start looking for fastballs and identifying them because those are the pitches you'll get late in the count.
And she walks her. It was 3-2. We lost the count there. It was 3-2, so that was a ball, and that's a base on balls to Hockenberry. That's Lutke's 3rd walk of the game. That brings Taylor Green to the plate. Oh, Taylor Green gets hit in the back of the helmet on the throw to first. She bunted it right at the plate. It trickled an inch in front of the plate. The catcher gloved, barehanded it, threw it to first.
And they're going to call Green out. Now, we talked about this earlier with a ball that was bunted in the box foul. Green bunted it out of the box. She's out, and now the runner's back to first, so. And she wore one on the head, so that's a tough AB for
Yeah,
Green.
that's a double bogey right there. So the runner goes back to first, and we've got 1 out now. We're back to the top of the order with Kayla Pratt. 1 hopper, loses it in the ground. The runner advances to second. No play at second for McClanahan.
That's a really good read by Hockenberry. She got a perfect jump on it, went for it, and, that's forcing the other team to be perfect, and that time they couldn't. So good jump there by Hockenberry, and now you're in scoring position for Pratt, who's had a day at the plate and is in a position to hit you in.
Well hit ball deep into the outfield, well in the left field, and she makes the catch over her shoulder on the run. So a fly out on a well hit ball by Kayla Pratt.
Pratt got a hold of that one. She put good aluminum to it, but just got under enough to hit it to the left fielder. And unfortunately, if that ball had gone over the left fielder's head, that could be an inside the park, especially if this field.
2 outs now. A one hopper. Flanagan throws back to the pitcher, stays in front of it, and keeps it in play. Lutke takes a little off that pitch, and it doesn't make it to home plate often. Annie McLean at the bat now. Annie at 1-2 on the day. She rifled a line drive dart to third base in her last at bat for an out. Off-speed ball inside.
And last game for McLean, the 2A West Regional Final. In the 7th inning, top of the 7th over at Liberty, McLean had a triple, and then coming around third with a tie game, she almost got caught in a pickle and managed to escape it.
Beautiful changeup by Lutke. Called strike to McLean.
And going back to that, if McLean does get thrown out after that triple in the rundown,
that's the game.
Yeah, Middletown might not be here right now.
Right. Another off speed called strike 2 to McLean, and she shakes her head and says no.
I would say it's tough to hit that pitch. It's very slow, and it forces you to be out on your front foot. So good job by McLean there, even though she wanted to lay off of it.
2 outs. She rifled shot down third base line out of play. McLean way out in front of that. Runner on second. 2 outs. Top of the third.
And that's the second ball that's been hit. Manager Charlie Tomsay, he's starting to become an endangered species over there. He is having to dance almost every at-bat over there.
Well, Lutke doesn't throw many fastballs. Most of her stuff is off speed. McLean down on the count now. Protecting the plate. Steps in, batting right-handed, straightaway stance. She waggles that bat. She's ready. High infield pop-up out of play in front of the screen. First base cannot make the catch. So McLean stays alive in the inning. 2 outs, runner on second now. And he's back in the box. Off speed, swing and a miss. The catcher gloves it, drops it. Throw to first in time, and they retire the side. So the end of 3.5 innings. We've got 1 runner on, no runs, no hits, no errors. And Middletown leading 7-0. We'll step aside for a break and be back for the bottom of the 3rd inning with Patuxent coming to the plate. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here live at Bachman Field. I want to remind you, this game will be archived in its entirety and available in YouTube. Go into YouTube and search for Patuxent versus Middletown, 2A state semifinal girls varsity softball. You'll find that in there. Patuxent versus Middletown should do the trick. It'll also be available linked to YouTube on our homepage website, Audio Vault. Go in there and click on the high school softball link, and you'll see all the games from this season available to you. Download it, listen to it at your convenience online, share it with your friends. It's yours for free, no charge. All right, here we go. Leadoff batter in the bottom of the 3rd for the Lady Panthers. Shot foul back to the screen. Number 2, Kelsey Sears top of the batting order for Patuxent. Kelsey had a walk in her first at bat. Main turns, winds, delivers. Beautiful bunt back to the pitcher. Picks it up, fires at first. She gets her in time.
And that's a great play coming off the mound by the Middletown pitcher, Sammy Main. She sees the bunt, goes out and gets it. Good bunt defense by Middletown. Taylor Green at second base rotates over. And it's an out that Middletown makes look simple, but really isn't.
That'll bring the pitcher, Hannah Lutke, to the plate. Hannah batting right. She lined out to the first baseman in her last at bat in the first inning. Takes a called strike, 0-1 to Lutke. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now to Hannah.
Be ready on the right side. Come on.
Top of the order here for the Lady Panthers. Down 7-0 in this game. Fouled away. Sears keeps it alive.
You can see a change in the approach from Maine where she was at the start of the game to now here in the third inning. Don't know if it was nervousness or if she was just trying to get a feel for a Patuxent team she hadn't seen. But at the start, she was a bit more passive, and now she's going after her.
She's attacking the plate, no doubt about it.
Being aggressive, pounding the zone.
Tip foul back to the screen. Count stands at 0-2 to Sears, the center fielder for the Lady Panthers. So both teams settling in here in this third inning. Become a pitcher's duel somewhat. Off speed swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch. Maine caught her guessing on that one with a definite, beautiful changeup right down the middle.
And Lutke was way ahead of that one, and there aren't too many hitters in the state who can make contact with that one. Maine froze that pitch in the perfect spot at the perfect time, and she gets it for the strikeout she needed.
2 outs. Bottom of the third. Kayla Alderman at the plate. Kayla had a single in her last at bat. Sammy Maine now with 4 strikeouts on the day. Fouled away over the backstop.
The funny thing for Maine is 4 strikeouts isn't even high for her. Mm-hmm. And, you know, in a state semifinal game, you'd think that Maine would struggle, face a bit more talented hitters. But Maine's just powered through it, you know. She is a gamer at all times, and Maine's proven it today. 4 strikeouts through 2 in the third.
2 outs, bottom of the third. Middletown leading 7-0. Fastball right across the shoulders. High. Ball 2. 2-1 to Alderman, the shortstop for the Panthers. Maine taking her time, steps on the rubber, looks in. Winds, delivers. Fouled away. You got to give it to those Panther batters. They are standing in there and staying in this.
And they've had some good at-bats against Maine. The only thing missing is the final product.
Production,
if they can string together a couple of hits, Patuxent's right back in this ball game.
Absolutely. Maine's ready. Ooh, that one gets away. Wild pitch over the head of Pratt and into the screen. Ball 3.
And that's the first time today where Maine struggled with location just a little bit. That one just seemed to slip from her, and it rose up a little bit too far for Pratt to get a glove on.
Full count to Alderman. There's the pitch. Chop foul down the third baseline and out of play.
One slight difference between Patuxent and Middletown so far. Middletown's had a lot of balls that have been hit online, hard, at people, at coaches. Patuxent's hitting more ground balls, choppers. They haven't really squared up something really well, but as the game goes on, Patuxent gets more familiar. You could see that happen.
Fastball swing and a miss. And that's the end of the inning. 3 up and 3 down, and 2 strikeouts in the inning. No hits, no runs, and no errors. And that'll bring the meat of the batting order to the plate.
Owned and operated, Mountain Gate Restaurant has one of the finest home-style buffets in the area, with mouth-watering delicacies, desserts, and much more. Mountain Gate Restaurant is not just a place to eat. It is an experience. Down-home country cooking in a friendly, relaxed atmosphere. Just off Route 15 in Thurmont, look for the big sign that says Mountain Gate Family Restaurant.
All right, welcome back. We're here live. Bachman Field, top of the 4th inning. The leadoff batter for Middletown, Sammy Main, takes a high fastball for ball 1. Sammy had a single in her last at bat. Middletown leading 7-0 in this game. Right in the meat of the Middletown batting order. Well hit, single into left field. Rolls to the left fielder. She throws the second. So Maine gets a leadoff single in the top of the 4th here. That'll bring Megan Brown to the plate. Megan got on with a walk in her last at bat. And I believe we've got a running substitution now. Number 25 is going to come in.
Lexi Hofflinger.
So Hofflinger will pinch run for Sammy Main on first base.
And that, for Middletown, that's just a move. They're trying to get the 10 runs across to end this game. Putting a little speed on base in a courtesy runner with Hofflinger, not a bad move at all.
All right, Megan settles into the batter's box. Inside, gets away from the catcher, and the runner advances to second, makes the turn to third, and then she comes back. So Hofflinger not afraid to probe that defense a little bit.
And that's exactly why Hofflinger's in there. Balva gets away from a catcher, McClanahan, a little bit. Hofflinger goes right up to second, and now you're in scoring position for Brown.
So Ludke's struggling with that off-speed stuff. It's one hop into the catcher. There's a nice, it's a pop-up to the shortstop, and she makes the easy catch. That one kind of went off the end of her bat. Looked like it was well hit, but then it just wounded itself and died right in the infield.
Yeah, Brown was a little bit out in front of that one, and good job by Ludke establishing her off-speed pitch for a strike.
So Emma Watt walked in her last at bat.
And going back to Ludke and establishing that off-speed, when she has it in the strike zone, it's deceptive enough where it can cause ground ball outs.
Fastball inside for a ball. 1 out, runner on second. Top of the 4th, Middletown leading 7-0. Fastball below the knees. Ball. Emma Watt looking down the third base line to Coach Toms for the signal. Steps into the box, slightly open stance. That right knee bent. Rests the bat on her shoulder, now she lifts it. Lays down a bunt, it rolls foul. Throw to first. The umpire says no. Foul ball. Wonder why he didn't call that a little earlier. Save the runner that run. I mean, it was obviously a foul before she got 3 steps.
You know, and from when I've umpired, some umpires enjoy that delayed call where they take a minute to see the play and then call it.
That thing was foul all the way.
It's just a personal preference kind of thing.
You're right. I had an umpire a couple of games ago that this guy literally took 5 seconds to call a strike, and I'd say ball, and then he'd lift his fist, and I'd have to correct myself. So each referee, umpire, and whether it's baseball or football, they all have their peculiarities.
And as a hitter, that's tough because you think you've gotten a ball or a walk and then rings you right up.
You have to get used to it, both as a player and a coach and as an announcer. So, Ben, how you doing with this? How you feel so far?
It feels good.
Having fun?
Yeah, this is fantastic. It's a great day to be out here. Both teams are doing great, so okay. I'm enjoying this.
Good. Emma Watts ready. Off-speed pitch on the inside ball. Runner holds on second. Hofflinger down on second. One out. Top of the fourth. Middletown threatening. Hit to the shortstop. She picks it up. Gloves. Throw to first. Runner advances to third.
That's
what does what you've got to do. She moves the run around.
And that's a really good read by Hofflinger at second. Ball hit to the shortstop. She paused, waited for the shortstop, Alderman, to throw the ball first, scooted right on past, and she was in there at third easy. So, and if Harmon hits her in, that's credit to Hofflinger, because that was all Hofflinger there with a little help from Watt.
Off-speed pitch called strike to Harmon. 2 outs. Top of the fourth. Runner on third.
Harmon's had quite the day for Middletown. 3 RBIs, 1 for 2, so this is another chance for her to strike.
Chop foul back to the fence.
That's one of the things we've been seeing with Harmon at the plate today. She's definitely not being passive. She's being aggressive, taking hacks and whatever count she feels, except for the 3-0 count, of course. But she looks confident up there.
Trickle foul. Out of play. Off speed. Fouled away over the screen.
Harmon is definitely taking aggressive hacks up there. That time, Lukey threw an off-speed pitch. Harmon goes after it. It was a little bit off the plate, but Harmon does well enough to get some contact on it. And, you know, just making Lukey pitch to her, and if you force Lukey to pitch enough to you, Lukey is prone to making a mistake here.
Ball outside. Harmon stays alive in the count. Swing and a miss. So she struck her out. Ludke gets out of the inning in one piece with her third strikeout on the day. So at the end of 4.5, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. Middletown Knights leading 7-0, and that'll bring Patuxent to the plate in the meat of their order. McClanahan, Long, and Lee coming up to bat after this commercial break.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart. This year is the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. And on my upcoming Memorial Day program, I will be honoring our brave veterans for their lifetime of service. It's my special Memorial Day tribute program on this station. Please join me.
Tune in Monday, Memorial Day, May the 25th, for Jerry Stewart's A Lifetime of Service, broadcast at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m.
All right, welcome back. We're going to have a great Memorial Day weekend, and on Monday, don't forget, Jerry Stewart special, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. called All Their Lives. The great men and women that served this country in the military, we honor them on this weekend. We got a substitution, Ben?
Yeah, for Middletown, Kaylee Waters is in right field now. Not sure if she's coming in where Arnie was in a flex spot or if she's, I mean, that's what we'd assume because Arnie was in right field, so she's probably in right field for Arnie. But Waters, good defensive player, good defensive fundamentals. She's a sophomore, so she's young, but just straight up defensive change for Middletown.
Well hit ball into center field, caught on the run. Center fielders getting her done out there in center field today. Who is that?
Sam Hockenberry, and that's the second ball that the catcher McClanahan has hit for Patuxent to Hockenberry, and Hockenberry went back once. She came in this time, but she is all over McClanahan in center field.
All right, that'll bring Emily Long to the plate, third baseman for the Lady Panthers. Chops it in the gap. Oh, beautiful glove stop by the shortstop. Turns and throws to first, but not in time. But boy, oh boy, that could have been 2 bases.
That's an impressive play by Annie McLean, and that's where you see her at your best. Diving to her right, a ball that normally squeaks through into left field. She stops an extra base hit, and that is what has made Middletown so good, is good defense from the infield, add in the good pitching by Maine and the offense that comes around. And they've been a tough team to beat this year, and you're seeing why today against Patuxent.
All right. So we have a runner on first and 1 out. That brings Mary Lee to the plate. She fouls it off over the Panthers dugout and out of play. Beautiful, breezy, sunny day. Couple of little puffy, cottony clouds out there. Great day for girls state playoff softball.
And especially after yesterday, the storms, it's a lovely sight to see.
That's the truth. Yesterday was infield pop-up. Shortstop settles underneath it and makes the catch. So Lee flies out to the shortstop for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring Katie Briggs to the plate, second baseman for the Panthers, batting right-handed with 2 out and a runner on first. Bottom of the 4th. Strike 1 to Briggs. Briggs got a single in her last at bat. Only 3 hits so far in this game.
And Patuxent really hasn't hit a ball hard yet. Most of them have been infield singles, so
fastball high and away.
Patuxent's still looking for a hit to kind of open things up. You know, balls to the outfield, balls in the gaps. That's what's going to help them get back in this game.
Briggs is ready. Maine delivers. Infield pop up again. Shortstop settles underneath it and makes the catch. So 4 up and 3 down. And at the end of 4 complete innings, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors, we go to the top of the 5th inning. Middletown leading 7-0. We'll be right back.
Watch the Keys in style by visiting the Mattress Warehouse Club, offering a climate-controlled fine dining experience. Guests get a fantastic terrace-level view of Keys baseball. Mondays are open to all, while all season long, enjoy specialty menus, beer pairings, and much more. For a full schedule of Mattress Warehouse Club events, reach the Keys via the web at frederickkeys.com or purchase by phoning the Keys group office at 301-815-9900. Frederick Keys Baseball, shake your Keys.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a substitute batter here to lead off for the Lady Knights, Michaela Toms, batting right-handed.
And Toms is one of the younger members of his team for Middletown. She is the granddaughter, I believe, of Coach Charlie Toms. She will be the core of what's going to be the Middletown team in the future. And I know it's crazy to think about the future now, but this is a good experience for her. Seeing state semifinal action, so next year when she's a junior and the year after that when she's a senior, even if they don't make it back to the state semis, which, again, that's a long ways out, she has something to remember, and this is a great experience for any athlete.
So Tom's batting in the order for Sydney Lamb. Steps into the batter's box. Lutke looks in, winds and delivers. Fastball inside, calls strike. Oh and 1 to Toms. Fouled away over the Panthers' dugout. The count moves to 0-2. As Michaela looks down to Grandpappy on the third base line.
I'll tell you what, for a sophomore coming into a state semifinal game, her hacks are not passive at all. She's swinging the bat with some authority right now.
Up the middle, base hit. Right up the gap. In between the second base and the second baseman. Just to the left of the pitcher. A base hit, so Toms gets her done. That sounded like that bat might have cracked a little on that one. Did you hear that?
Yeah, she hit it. It looked like she hit it pretty much square up on the barrel, but the way the ball came off of it and the sound it made, it was not like a normal hit. So
if that was a wood bat, I'd swear it was broken right now.
Absolutely.
All right. That'll bring Hockenberry to the plate. Hawk shows bunt, laid down, a beauty. It dies right at the plate. The out at first. But that's a beautiful, about as good a sacrifice bunt as you want to see.
Absolutely. She deadened it right in front of home plate, just in fair territory. There's nothing more you want. And for Middletown, this is exactly how you're going to extend this lead and try to get out of here on a 10-run rule. You know, leadoff hitter, pinch hit. Toms comes in, gets a single. Hockenberry bunts her over. Now you got the 9-hole Green ready to turn it over for the top of the order.
Green chops one of the shortstops. She picks it up, gloves, throws to first, and they get the out. So Green grounds out for the second out of the inning. And that brings back to the top of the order Kayla Pratt.
For Middletown, this is what you wanted. You're up 7-0. You've got the top of the order coming up. And even if the inning ends now, you've got 2, 3, 4 up in the top of the 6th. So they're going to have their chances to end this one early.
Change up high, ball 1.
Ludke on the mound for Patuxent. She still doesn't look like she's 100% confident in her pitches, and that could be some of her freshmen showing in her.
A roller to the plate, ball 2, but the runner holds at second.
Going back to Ludke, she's missed on her changeup. She's either been putting them a little bit high. She hasn't found the feel for the zone that Maine's developed for Middletown, and that's kind of been what's her ill in this game.
High fastball, ball 3, 3-0. So Coach Toms, let's see, gives her the take it sign, and Pratt steps in, slaps that bat on the plate, and she's ready. Ludke looks in, takes a breath, winds and delivers. Oh, ball 4. A one-hopper to the catcher, off-speed pitch, doesn't even make it past the plate. So here at the top of the 5th, Pratt gets on and a base on balls. So you've got runners on first and second with 2 outs. And that brings Annie McLean to the plate. Annie struck out in her last at bat. And now we've got a timeout as Coach Toms comes down to talk to the plate umpire.
And this could be a courtesy runner for the catcher, Pratt, who's on with 2 outs. I believe the softball rules are you can courtesy run for a catcher or pitcher, but I don't think we're going to have anything here.
All right. Everything stands. No changes. McLean looking down third base, gets the sign, steps into the box, taps that plate with her bat, and she's ready. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Middletown leading 7-0. Called strike on the changeup by Ludke. A beauty. Sitting out there just begging to be smacked over the fence.
You know, that's a good job of plate discipline by McLean. She's not looking for that first pitch of the at-bat. She's looking for a fastball, so she lays off.
There it is. Fastball, base hit into left field. The runner around third coming home. Here's the throw. It's cut off. Hot box in between the shortstop and second base. Safe at second. The ball goes into center field, and the runner advances to third. So we've got runners on second, third. Sammy Maines crosses the plate. Toms scores to move it to 8-0 now.
And for Middletown, they got very lucky there. Relay throw came in from the left fielder. The pitcher, Ludke, cut it off, and she had Pratt dead to rights in between second and third base. Pratt goes into a rundown, and like at the Liberty game with McLean in the top of the 7th inning, Pratt gets lucky and gets out of it and advances on a throwing error.
So runners on second and third. Maine is at bat. Sammy had a base hit in her last at bat. She steps out of the box. Doesn't like the length of time Ludke's taking. Now she's back in and ready.
That is one thing Ludke's done well. She's done a good job of taking her time at the plate.
Oh, line drive shot to the third baseman. Makes a beautiful shoe top catch for the last out of the inning. And that's it. The third out of the inning, but not until Middletown puts one more up on the board. So at the end of 5.5, 3 hits, 1 run, and no errors. Middletown leading Patuxent 8-0, and that'll bring Jones, Lee, and Sears to the plate, batting in the bottom of the 5th after this commercial message. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Patuxent coming to bat now. Middletown padding that score, 1 run in their last at bat. 4 runs in the first inning, 3 in the second, and then 1 in the 5th. Leading 8-0 here. Looking for a chance to advance to College Park this Friday or Saturday to play for the first time for the state 2A West, 2A title overall.
And that'd be big, not just for the Middletown softball program, but for Middletown as a whole. Middletown's always been a school that takes a lot of pride in its athletic programs, and after a year last year of not having any individual or team sports teams make it to state, having the softball team vying for a state championship is something everyone in Middletown's going to love.
Yeah, the girls could look at the football players and say, we got you, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fastball inside, right at the knees, called strike 1.
Going back to last inning, the top of the 5th for Middletown, the 1 run is something you love to see because there's a tendency in blowouts. Some teams will kind of take their foot off the pedal, but Middletown is not doing that. They're going after it, trying to get this 10-run win.
Strike 2, Crystal Jones, swing and a miss. The left fielder for the Lady Panthers. At the plate, chokes up on the bat, and she's ready. Shot to the third baseman in foul territory. Megan Brown makes a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch in foul territory for the out.
And that's a really athletic play by Browns there. She's going to her right, back on a ball that was just a little bit over her head. She almost tripped over the base because she was playing right next to the base. Does a great job of staying with it and makes a great catch to start the inning.
That'll bring Megan Lee to the plate. She struck out in her last at bat. She swings and misses. Not very much of an authoritative swing on that one, was it, Ben?
It was almost sort of an excuse me swing where as it was coming in, she went, oh, excuse me, and then took a hack at it.
Strike 2, called strike 2 to Megan Lee. The last batter in the rotation for the Lady Panthers.
And Patuxent, down 8 right now, would really like some help trying to get back in this game from the bottom of their order so they can turn it over to the top.
A low fastball. Just a couple of inches above the plate. Ball 1. 1-2 to Lee. Lee steps in. Readies herself. Main on the mound. Turns, winds, and delivers. Swing and a miss. And she struck her out for the second out of the inning to take Patuxent back to the top of the order. 6 strikeouts on the day for Sammy Main now.
And for Maine, that's just a great day so far. She's locating her pitches, being aggressive when she needs to, mixing and breaking pitches, and she's been in control from the jump.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Kelsey Sears, at the top of the order, batting left-handed. Kelsey grounded out to the shortstop in her last at-bat. Closed stance. Infield playing regular, outfield playing shallow. Takes a called strike. That fastball popped the glove, didn't it? You hear that pop?
Yeah, absolutely. Maine's been throwing it with a bit more authority than you usually see from her today. It could be the adrenaline from being in the state semifinals, but she's been ripping it, which helps her even more because it creates a bigger speed difference.
High infield pop-up right at the screen and out of play just behind the radio broadcast booth. It hits the pavement.
And going back to Maine, you know, as we mentioned, this is her senior year. You know, she's going to leave it all on the table. Whether the season somehow would end today or if it ends with a win on Saturday or a loss on Saturday, you can guarantee that Maine's going to leave it out on the field because she's given 4 years to this program and she's going to give everything she has.
High fastball. Ball. That's Sears at bat now. 2-2, the count. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Tip ball, stayed in the catcher's glove, and that's a strikeout. So Sammy gets her 7th K and retires this side up, 3 up and 3 down. 2 of those were strikeouts, and at the end of 5 complete innings, no hits, no runs, and no errors. Middletown leading 8-0 here at Bachman Field in the 2A state semifinal. We'll be right back. That's right, Planting Hope, Frederick Fairgrounds, May the 30th. Free groceries, free haircuts, free shoes, and more. Had 8,000 people there last year. Megan Brown leads off with a hit to the shortstop, ground out, throw to first in time. So the leadoff batter for the Knights jumps on the first pitch.
And for Patuxent, this is what you've wanted to see from Ludke all game. She's working quick. She's getting ahead in count. She's forcing Middletown to put the ball on the ground, but it might be a little too late.
Emma Watt steps into the batter's box, shows bunt, and then takes a ball. Emma grounded out to the shortstop in her last at bat.
Scratch out those first 2 innings for Middletown, and they only have 1 run and a couple of hits.
Ball inside, low. 2-0 to Watt. Emma with that wide open stance, showing bunt now. Takes a fastball inside, backs out of the plate, smiles, and swings her bat a little bit. Looking very confident. Emma way ahead in the count, 3-0.
And on the whole, Middletown as a team has looked confident at the plate today. They look like they have an approach and they know what they want to do and how they want to attack Ludke.
Ball 4. Emma takes her base. That's her 3rd walk in 4 at-bats. So Emma patiently milking the balls out of Ludke. Brings her teammate Shannon Harmon to the plate. Hammond takes an off-speed pitch called strike. Runner on first, 1 out. Top of the 6th. Middletown leading 8-0. Swing and a miss. Throw down to first, runner gets back in time, safe. So Harmon went after that one. Harmon behind in the count, 0-2 now. Fastball outside, ball 1.
And for Middletown, you know, top of the 6th inning, you're up 8-0. With Tom's on deck, the pinch hitter, a hit for Harmon here would be huge.
Fastball outside. She goes after it and off the end of her bat pops it to the shortstop for the 2nd out of the inning. So Harmon went way outside the strike zone to make contact to that one on a bit of almost a drag type bunt hit. So that's 2 outs, runner on first. That brings Toms to the plate. There's the throw to second into the outfield. It gets by him, but the backup works. Second baseman backing up the shortstop. The runner Watt stole second on that pitch. The throw very high, but the backup was there to hold the runner at second.
And that's just good baseball by Watt there. She got a good jump on the pitch. Straight up steals second, and it's as simple as that.
Fastball right up the middle. Ball 1. 1-1 to Toms. 2 out. Top of the 6th. Runner on second in scoring position. Ludke taking her time. Winds and delivers. Pop foul. Still in play. The catcher goes after it and just over the fence. No play by McClanahan, but she definitely went after it.
And that's a great effort there by McClanahan. There's not a lot of foul territory here at Bachman Sports Complex, as with most softball fields, so she was kind of limited as what she could do, but great hustle from the Patuxent catcher.
Well, most softball fences are only about 4 feet high on the right there by the dugouts. These fences are 8 feet high. So you've got no chance. You either make the play on the inside of the fence. You can't reach over the fence and catch it.
Yeah, and you see it in the local play, sectional play
right
in the county. A lot of the smaller schools, you can kind of reach over and pick it across the fence.
Ball 4. So Toms picks up the walk. Patient batting. That puts the runner on first and second.
And Toms for Middletown, coming into that 7th spot in the order, has been really good. She had a single to center field in her first at-bat. Mm-hmm. She has a walk in this at-bat. She's gotten on base twice. And she's not showing any of the freshman, sophomore nerves that you'll see sometimes.
Fastball inside. Called strike to Hockenberry. Her fans back here are encouraging Hawk, and she turns and smiles at him.
I'll say there's a large student section for Middletown here today, and good on them for making the drive.
Chop to the shortstop. She gloves it, throws to third for the force. And that's the third out of the inning. On a ground out by Hockenberry to shortstop. So at the end of 6.5 innings, no hits, no runs, and no errors, the Middletown Knights go to the bottom of the 6th, take the field, leading 8-0. Patuxent comes to bat. With the strength of their order, Ludke, Alderman, and McClanahan will be batting. We'll step aside for a short break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back here to Bachman Field, where the Middletown Lady Knights are leading 8-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Leadoff batter Hannah Lutke fouls one out of bounds. 0-1 in the count. Well hit in the gap in between right and center. The right fielder makes a play, bobbles it, throw to second, holds up, cut off. So a stand-up double to lead off for Ludke, and the Patuxent bats come alive.
And that's the hit Patuxent has been looking for all day. Ludke gets under one, hits a good fly ball to right field, and Ludke's not only done the pitching for Patuxent, she's done the hitting, so she'll start it off.
The shortstop Alderman comes to bat, fouls it way back over the screen, and out of play. 0-1 to Alderman.
And Ludke, as a freshman, has been the dynamo for this Patuxent team, along with her great pitching stats. She has a .355 at batting average, 14 RBIs, a home run, so she does it all for the Panthers.
So you want to come back in 4 years and see what she looks like, right?
Absolutely.
Another Sammy Main. Line drive shot to the shortstop, and she gets the double play. What a play by the shortstop. She catches Ludke on the leadoff. Makes the shoe top line drive out and throws it back to second base to double them up.
And that's the second time I think I've jinxed Patuxent today. Ludke got a little too overzealous there coming off the bag. A heads-up play by McLean to fire back to Green at second. And what started as a leadoff double turns into 2 outs for Middletown.
So that'll bring Haley McClanahan to the plate. McClanahan with a deep fly ball out to center field in her last at bat. Chops it foul.
Going back to Ludke and Patuxent, I've seen around the complex today, there's a good number of college coaches here. I'm sure when they talk to Jennifer Bruno after the game, the response is going to be, what? She's a freshman?
Yeah.
She certainly does not have the swagger and the play of a freshman.
McClanahan's ready. Maine winds and delivers high fastball right across the chin for a ball. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. Middletown leading 8-0 here in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Fastball low. McClanahan patiently waiting for her pitch. Maine working the zone. Ooh, gets away from her one hopper to the catcher. 3 balls now to McClanahan. Maine delivers. Fastball, foul, tipped back to the screen. Full count to McClanahan, 3-2. Fastball high, woo, wild pitch over the head of the catcher, hits the backstop. Ball 4. So McClanahan gets the base on balls, moves down to first base with 2 out. That brings up Emily Long, who singled in her last at bat. Emily trying to keep the inning alive. Steps in. Fastball at the knees. Ball 1. Yeah. Fouled away. The count moves to 1-1 to Emily Long, the third baseman for the Lady Panthers.
If you're Middletown right now, the best thing you can do, I know it sounds harsh, is to get through these 2 innings as quick as you can, because the longer you allow Patuxent to get base runners and hang around, the more momentum they build and the more chance they have to get back in this game.
Low and inside. Another ball to Long. Runner on first, 2 out, bottom of the 6th. 7-inning game in this state semifinal. Here comes the pitch. Chop to the shortstop. She gloves it, steps on the bag for the force out to end the inning. So Emily Long grounds out to the shortstop. And at the end of 6 complete innings, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors, Middletown will come to bat for their last time, leading 8-0 in this game after this break. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here live at Bachman Field. The last at-bat for the Lady Knights here in their 2A state semifinal. Literally 1 inning away from a trip to College Park on Friday or Saturday of this week. And we will bring you that game. Here we go, the leadoff batter, the Lady Knights, number 7, Megan Brown. Excuse me, number 7, Taylor Green, my fault. Looking at the wrong list. Green takes a called strike. Chop to the shortstop. She gloves it, picks it up, throws to first. And in time, 1 out. So a ground out by Green to the shortstop in her first leadoff bat in the 7th inning. That'll take us back to the top of the order. Kaylee Pratt walked in her last at bat.
And out of all the nights, Pratt has had the best at-bats today. She's been
fastball called strike.
She's been seeing pitches well. She's been putting them in play. She's been hitting balls in the outfield. And that could definitely, if Middletown is to win this game and move on to Saturday in College Park, that could be to the Knights' advantage.
Well, so far she's batting .750 in this game. Oh, she went after a changeup way high, tipped it, and she smiles over at Coach Toms. He raises his hands like in, what was that?
I say, I've been brutal today with the jinxes because I just praised her approach and she went after one that was at her eye.
That was a bad pitch, and she went way up after it.
Got just a little bit greedy there.
0-2. That's a well-hit ball for a base hit in the left field. Right down the third base line at 2 hops to the left fielder. So a stand-up signal. Pratt redeems herself with Coach Toms. All right. Runner on first, 1 out. Annie McLean steps into the plate. Annie had a single in her last at bat. Here in the top of the 7th with Middletown leading 8-0. Wind-up delivery. Base hit up the middle. 2 hops to the short to the center fielder. She throws to second base. And the bats come alive for Middletown here in the top of the 7th.
Come on, Sammy. Keep going, girl. Get a couple of insurance runs.
And for Middletown, this is what you need right now. They are in a spot where they are in control of this game, and more runs aren't going to hurt you at all. It's only going to help. And with the heart of the order coming up, if they can put up a couple more, I'm sure they won't mind that.
Sammy Main batting.
And the truth is, in playoff baseball or softball or any sport, you aren't out of the woods until the game's over and you've won it. We've seen it at probably every sport. Once or twice a team gets ahead and they take their foot off the pedal and the opposing team comes back and beats them.
Base hit up the middle. Here comes the runner around third. She turns and heads home, and there's the 9th run of the game. On a single by Sammy Main. One out. Top of the 7th. Middletown leading now 9-0.
And it looks again like Lexi Hefflinger will courtesy run for the pitcher Main at first base.
Hofflinger's in as the pinch runner now. They pull Main. And Megan Brown is at the plate. Brown chops one to the third baseman. She steps on the bag for the 2nd out of the inning to get the force. So runners on first and second, 2 outs. Emma Watts at the plate. One hopper gets away from the catcher, and the runners advance. Now we have runners on second and third.
And this is a perfect opportunity for Watt in the 5-hole. She's been waiting for a chance like this all day, and here it is for her.
Emma walked in her last at bat. Takes a fastball high for a ball. 1 out. Runners on second and, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Top of the 7th. Foul tip back to the screen. Watt clenches her fist, shakes it, and says, I almost got that one.
And she wanted that one, too. Ludke for Patuxent left it up in the zone just a little bit, and Watt just missed it by about an inch or two, fouled it straight to the backstop, but she was on top of it.
Emma steps into the box. That signature open stance of hers. Pop up over the second baseman. It could drop. It does. It drops in for a base hit. 1 run scores. Runner rounds third. Here comes another run. And that's 2 runs in on that one. So a stand-up double for Emma Watt.
And for Watt there, she's done what Middletown's done all day and just hit the ball where the Patuxent defense isn't playing.
Chop to the shortstop. She picks it up, fires to first, and that's it. That's the last out of the inning. So Harmon goes down on the ground out, but not until the Middletown bats come alive. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. And Middletown leading 11-0. We go to the bottom of the inning. And the last at bat, possibly of the season, for Patuxent. We'll be right back after this break. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Batting first, the first baseman for the Patuxent Panthers takes a called strike. The leadoff batter in the bottom of the 7th inning, Mary Lee. Maine taking her time. A bullet to the third baseman. She gloves it and throws to first. That was a laser.
You know what? And Brown might be saying thank you there. That ball was hit hard to her right. She just stuck her glove out, and she went, oh, look what I have here. Found it in her glove and made easy play to first.
That'll bring Katie Briggs to the plate. Katie chops one in. It could drop. It does. It drops in between the shortstop and the center fielder for a single. So Katie gets a 1-bagger to keep it alive for Patuxent. Crystal Jones comes to the plate now. The left fielder.
The most important thing for Middletown now with the 8th hitter at the plate is just make sure it doesn't get to the top of the order.
Low, ball 1.
Because even in a game like this, with the top of the order coming up, you never know what they can do. Patuxent's bats started to come alive last inning, so.
I'm going to make a prediction here. You ready? Double play. Watch this. Ball 2.
Put it this way, as long as I'm not the one to jinx it anymore today, since I've done that about 4 times, I am completely okay with that prediction.
You're okay with that call, huh? All right, I'm predicting a double play to end the game here. Swing and a miss. Jones popped it out in foul territory in her last at bat. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Jones. Maine just blowing smoke now. Yeah, I know you can hear that glove pop here on the radio. Swing and a miss. Struck her out. That's the 8th strikeout of the game. And we've got a substitution here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
Patuxent will have a pinch hitter. They'll go off the bench, number 13, Kelda Bennett, who's normally a pitcher for Patuxent. She's a senior. Maybe coach trying to get her in one last at-bat in the state semifinal game. But
yeah, Kelda probably led. She's a tall girl. What do you figure, 6'3"?
And here, it doesn't have height in here, but if I'd say at least 6 foot.
Oh, she's over 6 foot. A roller to the plate. That one gets away from Maine, ball 1. So the Lady Knights 1 out away from their first trip to the state championship this weekend. Bennett's ready. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. Here we go. Maine's ready. Fastball low and inside. Runner on first. 2 out. Bottom of the 7th. Last at bat of the game.
Relax, Sammy. Go get her.
Swing. Oh, she got a piece of it. Foul tipped it. So she stays alive.
And that's a good job by Bennett. She hit that one off of her shoe tops. A good job of just trying to put the ball in play, not doing too much with it. But now Patuxent down to their last strike.
One more right here.
Here we go. Swing and a miss. And a great way to end this game. A strikeout by Sammy Main as she dots the I, crosses the T, and puts a period on the end of the sentence with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts on the day for Sammy Main. And the two teams meet at home plate, exchanging high fives. Congratulations, the Middletown Knights, victorious in an 11-run shutout of the Lady Panthers, who had a great season. And that's it. So we'll step aside for our last commercial break, come back for our post-game wrap-up, and we'll tell you who the player of the game is going to be after this message. All right, welcome back here live. Congratulations to the Middletown Lady Knights, victorious here on a great 11-0 win over the Lady Panthers of Patuxent. And it's great to see the media all out here. John Cannon from the Frederick News Post, Adam Schooms from WHAG. I see Sammy Yu out there with the camera, the photographer for the Post. And Ben, what do you think? Who's our player of the game?
Well, I'd have to say Sammy Main. She had a great game on the mound, 9 strikeouts, had a couple of big hits at the plate, 2 RBIs. So she did all day, but not to be left out. Her teammate Megan Brown had a great day. She did great at the plate too. So for Middletown, just a good day. But Sammy Main and Megan Brown especially.
All right. So our player of the game, Sammy Main. Sammy, congratulations, you guys. You did it right. 11 runs, no runs, and you held them to only 3 hits in the game. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. I keep saying this to everybody who's asking how it feels. We've been working on it for the past 4 years, and we finally gotten to it. So it's great. Well,
I'll tell you, we were kind of joking during a timeout, and I said there's a lot of girls in Frederick County who are going to be glad to see Sammy Main graduate because I've been watching you for these last 4 years, especially up at Patuxent. I know the Patuxent girls have a great deal of respect for you, and it's been a great, great career for you, but you've got one more to go. What is it going to feel like when you wake up tomorrow morning and you realize you're going to state?
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm really, really excited for it. So.
Okay. Well, we don't know when or where or what time or any of that, but we will. But I can promise you one thing, we'll be there to bring that game on the air.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You win 2 tickets to the Orioles Player of the Game, and you're going to go with your friend Megan because she was the Player of the Game last week, and she didn't get her tickets. Matter of fact, you know when her tickets were for? I handed them to her. They were for tonight. So there was no way.
I'm glad she didn't go to that.
It's good that she came here, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, congratulations, Megan. You're going to go with your friend Sammy to the game. The two of you can bring 2 friends.
All right, sounds good.
So what'd you think, Megan? How did it go out there? How did you feel? Your bat was doing very well today.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels good to know that our hard work paid off and that we're going to get to play at States.
Yeah, but what about that play on third base, man? That was the laser that you caught on the ground. Were you just kind of like blinking and said, "Oh, I got it"?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, congratulations, ladies. We're going to see you sometime Friday or Saturday, not sure when, and we're going to be at the State at College Park. You're going to be playing, and it's a lot of fun. You won't believe what that stadium looks like.
We're going there next year. Go Terps!
There you go. All right, you're going to go to both going to Maryland?
Yep.
All right, well, get used to it. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the entire AM 1450 team, I want to thank you for a great game. Congratulations to all the Middletown fans. The softball ladies got her done, Ben.
For Middletown, it's a good day. They came down here knowing what they had to do to win, and they did it. So kudos to them. And for the Patuxent Panthers, They had a really good season. They have a really young team. There's no shame in what they did today. They should go out here with their heads held high.
Absolutely. All right, that's it. It's a wrap, so don't go anywhere because we're going to be back at 7 o'clock for the Linganore Northern game. That's the 3A MPSSAA state semifinal right here on AM 1450. Stay tuned. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you in about an hour. Bye-bye.